So, yesterday I broke down the best movies of 2024 so far, and by so far, it meant that we were only halfway through the year, so we have a whole 6 months to go with a bunch of new movies that are coming. Now, over the next 6 months, I plan on watching dozens and dozens of films that I am very much looking forward to that we're going to talk about today, and I'm sure dozens of other films that I'm either A, forgetting about, or B, have never heard of, or C, just am not excited about at all. There's a bunch of those, like Venom. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that one. But we see them all. We see them all for the YouTube. But for today's video, I'm breaking down the 15 movies. I've come together on a list of 15 movies that I am looking the most forward to seeing. And yet again, I'm sure there are going to be movies that end up in my top list at the end of the year that are not on this list, and that's completely okay. Yet again, I might just not have heard of them at this point, or I just forgot about them. That is also very possible. As I'm sitting here, I might have forgotten about a bunch of shit. Please remind me if I did. But the rest of this year looks to be extremely strong. There are a ton of extremely exciting movies coming out very, very soon. I'm going to break down all of them. I've got a nice variety of different genres, of some mystery films that I don't know too much about, and it's just a really fun list. It's a little bit different from the list I put together earlier in the year. There are some movies that were on that list that I'm not as excited for today as I was earlier in the year, hence they're not on the list anymore. But let's break it down. Let's go through it. I'm actually going to throw in a bonus one really quick, so I got 16 movies. The first one I want to talk about is Trap, the brand new M. Night Shyamalan film. Now, why do I want to talk about Trap? This is a movie that I think is going to be horrible. I think it's going to be absolutely atrocious. Just because M. Night Shyamalan is a hit-or-miss director. He makes movies that are okay, he's made movies that are phenomenal, and he's made a lot of stinkers. This movie looks so ridiculous and so stupid and so bad that it might actually be the most entertaining movie of the year. That's kind of the direction this seems to be heading in. It's about a serial killer who's at a concert, and there's a plan at this concert to trap him and catch him. And yeah, the dialogue of the trailer is hilariously bad, it's just goofy, and this is going to be... Maybe it'll be great, but I think it's going to be bad. I just wanted to mention it here, and I'm so excited. I get so excited at every new M. Night Shyamalan film, because I like making fun of them. Alright, now to the real list. Movies that I think are going to be good. First up, The Killer's Game, which is releasing September 13th. This is a brand new film starring Dave Bautista, and this is a very simple movie. This is not a movie that I think is going to be a big hit on the year, but it's an action John Wick-style movie starring Dave Bautista with a very funny concept. Dave Bautista is a hitman who finds out that he is dying. He is terminally ill and he's going to die, and he wants to go out like a champion. So he orders a hit against himself, a massive hit, and every hitman on planet Earth is now after him. And then he finds out that the diagnosis was bullshit. He's fine. So what does he do now? Well, now he's got to fight his way out of all these hitmen. He's got to fight for his life. That is a hell of a concept. It's stupid enough to work. Dave Bautista is a big enough star, in my opinion, to fill the shoes of a big action movie lead. This movie's got a really good cast with Pom Klementieff, who I think is awesome in these action movies. She's so good at Mission Impossible. She goes far beyond, like, the goofy stuff she does with Guardians of the Galaxy. You also have Sofia Boutella, who's got to make up for Rebel Moon, unfortunately. Drew McIntyre's in this movie. Yeah, okay, we're cool with that.
Do not shoot up my kilt, you perv.
This movie just looks like a lot of fun. Who's not gonna have fun with this one? As long as it just delivers good action sequences and it's fun with its concept and doesn't take itself too seriously, this should be a good movie. I'm excited for it. Next up is Alien Romulus. Now, this is a movie. I just want to make this clear right now, and this might shock some people. I have not seen a single Alien movie. I know. Don't throw tomatoes yet. Listen, I plan on watching every single one of them before I watch this one. I think it might make for a fun video. Watching every Alien movie in 24 hours. Doesn't that sound like it rings a certain bell? I'll make that video. It'll come soon. Alien Romulus, though, is a brand new prequel/sequel. I believe it takes place between 1 and Aliens, and it is a brand new film that's bringing Alien back to its roots. It's going to be a horror film. And this is a film that looks extremely good. The trailers to this movie have completely sold me on it. It seems dark, gritty. You could feel kind of like that big budget aspect to it. Kaylee Spaney's playing the lead, and she is just incredible in everything she's in. Fede Alvarez seems like he knows what he's doing, and he has enough passion about this universe to truly deliver something unique, and this film looks like it potentially could be excellent, and hopefully the return the form this franchise needed. Yet again, I can't really comment on return the form, because I haven't seen any of the films, but from what I've heard, the last few that they've made have not been very good, so maybe this one will be the one that Alien fans, which I might soon be one of, this is the film they've been waiting for. The film that I, unknowingly, have been waiting for. Thank you, Fede Alvarez. And then we got Deadpool and Wolverine. Of course, Deadpool 3, it's coming out very, very soon, in just a short few weeks. How can you not be excited for this movie? I'm a guy who is maybe the biggest comic book movie hater in the world, but of course, it's not because I hate comic books and I hate superheroes, it's because I hate the studios making these superhero movies and how lazy they are and how they think audiences are stupid and they could deliver the same generic, boring movie over and over and over, just switching out some characters, and people will say, here, take my money. It's been frustrating to watch over the years, and finally these studios are suffering because because of it. Now, in saying that, Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't think fits into that category. The Deadpool movies have been extremely unique and fun, filled with passion, with great performances from Ryan Reynolds. Everybody around those movies seem like they know what they're doing with this character, and of course, the one thing we've always wanted is him and Hugh Jackman Wolverine to be in the same movie, and no, I'm not talking about you, X-Men Origins Wolverine, get the hell out of here. The trailers of this movie sell exactly what you want out of it. It looks fun. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have immaculate chemistry already just by the trailers. It looks like it's going to be a big ensemble film with tons of cameos, similar to something like No Way Home or Avengers Endgame. It just looks to be the epic multiverse comedy with Deadpool and all these characters that we've been waiting for. I think this is going to be a major hit, both critically and financially. This is going to be the movie that I think sort of resurrects the Marvel brand a little bit. And then next year, they will kill the Marvel brand with a bunch of more generic movies that I'm sure they're making right now. Next up is Wicked Part 1. Now listen, I have never seen the Wicked play. I don't really know much about it, but I like the trailer here. I thought the trailer here was beautiful. I love musicals. That might surprise some of you, but I have a soft spot in my heart for musicals. Les Mis is one of my favorite movies ever, and I know I just offended, like, the 20 theater kids that might be watching this video. Like, the Les Mis movie is not an accurate depiction of what the play is supposed to be. Russell Crowe is terrible. Oh, eat a dick. Shut up. It's a great movie. I love it. Wicked, this looks to be a very fun musical. Yet again, it's only a part 1, which I think is strange to split a play that people sit down and watch in one sitting, or I guess you have an intermission, but to split that into 2 parts is a little bit interesting, but it looks big, epic. You could feel sort of the budget that's going into this as well. Ariana Grande looks like she's really dedicating herself to the role. The music seems beautiful. This is what I'm excited for. Please, don't ruin my fun by telling me it looks terrible and inaccurate to the play, or whatever. I'm excited for this. I like musicals. I look forward to seeing Wicked on whenever it's coming out. November 22nd. Yeah, same day as Gladiator 2. We'll get to that. On October 18th, we'll be getting A Real Pain, the brand new film directed by Jesse Eisenberg. This is a film that premiered at some of the film festivals earlier this year. I believe it was shown at Sundance, and it got pretty great reviews. People weren't saying it's like the best movie ever, but it did solid with the reviews. Now, why am I still excited for this when there are other films that performed better at the festivals than this one? Well, it's because of the 2 people involved in this film. First off, Jesse Eisenberg, I love him. I love everything he's in. He's got a certain vibe to his performances and just the way he operates on camera that I love. He's also directing this movie, and I think Jesse Eisenberg so far as a filmmaker has a lot of stuff that I enjoy. His films I have tended to like more than other people. And then Kieran Culkin. I am the biggest Succession fan on planet Earth. I just cannot wait to see more of Kieran Culkin because this guy is absurdly talented, and no matter what this man does, even if it's just Roman kind of changed, you know, in a different movie, like he's just playing Rome in this movie again, I'm okay with that because he's just so much fun to watch on camera. He is so good, and I just know the chemistry between these 2 guys is going to be immaculate. The little trailer we got of this movie looked beautiful, and I am very, very excited for this film. Then we have Here, the brand new Robert Zemeckis movie, which is being coined as the Forrest Gump reunion, because of course you have Tom Hanks coming back, Robin Wright. Now this is a very unique looking movie, a movie that I definitely think could be bang or bust. It's a very interesting concept, the concept that I actually did in one of my own films. I'll get to that in a second, but the whole concept of this movie is that the camera is in one place, filming one setting, and we watch the whole film from one perspective as we go through the course of like 1,000 years, from like the age of the dinosaurs to humanity to Tom Hanks and his wife buying this house and living there and getting old, and it just looks like it's going to be one of those movies, a very unique artistry type film that on one hand could be really great if the concept is pulled out extremely well and pulls at your emotions and has great performances and the de-aging technology doesn't look terrible. And on the other hand, it could be atrocious because when you make a film like this where it is one perspective, you sort of lose control of the film in the edit room because you can't cut away in scenes. You can't change the pace of scenes. So if characters are moving too slow in their actual performance and you go back to the cutting room floor and you go, oh my god, this moved way too slow, the pacing of this movie is atrocious, you can't really fix it. Whereas in a normal film, you got shots here, you got coverage here, and you could really mix things around, cut some stuff out, and get around the pace and really speed it up if you need to. This film is not going to have that luxury, so what you're really doing is you're kind of watching a stage play. That's exactly what you're doing. You're watching a stage play, which is okay and could work because guess what? Stage plays work. So I'm not saying this movie is at risk of being a dumpster fire. I'm just saying it has a tall task of being something that really could be transformative. Because again, I kind of made a movie like this. I made a movie earlier this year, a short film. It came out a few weeks ago, about a month ago. Go watch it. It's called Different Day, where the whole thing is just kind of one camera shot. It does change locations, but it's one camera shot per scene. And I had that same kind of struggle where it's like, I can't control the pace of this. We have to get it right on scene. But I'm interested to see what a professional like Robert Zemeckis can actually do with this concept. The trailer looked emotional and beautiful, and we all love Tom Hanks, and of course this is kind of a Forrest Gump reunion. I'm excited for this one just because it's something that you don't get to really see usually in Hollywood. It's a unique film. Next up is Queer. This is the brand new film from Luca Guadagnino, the same guy that made Challengers, which came out earlier this year, and of course, Bones and All, and a bunch of other great movies. He's a fantastic director who's on a roll right now. This is another film that he has coming out very soon, probably. It hasn't premiered anywhere yet, but this is starring Daniel Craig, and it seems to be some movie about love and relationships like all of his movies kind of study. And yeah, I don't know anything else about this film. I just know this is a director that I trust to make bangers. He has one of the best movies of the year so far. I also love Daniel Craig. He's going for an Oscar. I'm excited for this one. I will be seated. I don't have much else to say because I don't know what to say about this. I don't know anything else. In a couple weeks, we'll be getting Dee Dee. Now, this is a movie that I do know a little bit more about. I know it's premiered at festivals and people loved it. I have seen the trailer a dozen times, and this trailer, strangely, every time I watch it, gets me a little choked up. This movie looks beautiful. It looks like it might end up being my favorite coming-of-age story ever. It just looks... something about it just feels so relatable. This movie follows a kid who's just struggling to grow up and fulfill the expectations of his parents, of his life, and just everything around him, and it seems like something that is just going to talk to me. The trailer talks to me, the movie looks beautiful, the reviews are great. I am so excited for this one. This has one of the biggest potentials to be a top 5 movie of the year for me. I'm just putting that out now. Will it be number 1? Probably not. But it's in that conversation, I think, that it's going to be my type of thing and end up in that top 5. It just looks like something I am going to absolutely love, because the trailer is my favorite trailer of the year, maybe. Then we have Longlegs, which I believe comes out in like a week or two. I will say this is another film that I have managed to learn nothing about. I'm going in blind to this movie, and I am so proud of that because I've been hearing nothing but praise for this. I've been hearing about how the trailers are crazy. When the movie premiered at the different festivals, people were praising it, saying it's one of the best horror films of the year. They're saying Nick Cage is insane in this one. I have avoided all the marketing for this one. I have not seen a trailer. I have not seen a glimpse of this thing because I want to go in next week completely blind and see what the hell this film's about. And I am so excited for that because I have heard nothing but incredible things here. Nick Cage is in this movie. It is a horror film. It is apparently a monster movie, I think. I don't know. Yet again, I can't talk long about this one because I just don't know anything about it other than the fact that it's probably going to be a masterful horror film, and that gets me excited, and I am excited to see it next week. At 6, we have Gladiator 2, a film that I really am still struggling with, because on one hand, Gladiator is one of my favorite movies ever. Ridley Scott is one of my favorite directors ever. This is a movie that on paper should be very exciting. It should be number 1 on this list, but on the other hand, Ridley Scott's been kind of on a dry streak. He is an older man. He's rushing to get movies out there because he understands that he can't beat Father Time. Father Time will catch up with him eventually, so he's trying to get as many films out as possible before that happens, meaning some of his latest films have felt a little bit rushed, a little bit messy, much like Napoleon, a movie I was very excited for last year. A movie that's not bad, it's not terrible, it's actually quite fine, but it just kind of felt like a letdown, especially someone like me who loves the history of Napoleon and was looking forward to an epic movie about him. I was a little bit let down. But the Gucci movie with Lady Gaga wasn't that great. Just a lot of his recent films haven't been incredible, and this film felt like it was put together really fast. The production, everything. There's something off about this, and until I see a trailer, I don't really know what to think of it. We've gotten these images, though, over the last few weeks that show Paul Mescal, who's clearly the lead of this movie. I don't know if he's playing the boy from the original film growing up, but either way, he's playing some sort of gladiator. Denzel Washington looks like he might be like the new emperor. Pedro Pascal seems like he could be the villain, or he's some other gladiator who's like this warrior. This movie has a great cast. Unfortunately, Barry Keoghan had to drop out of it, which sucks because we could have had an even better cast. But yet again, the first Gladiator is so good, and if they're even able to capture a little bit of what made that film so special, I think this film could also be special, but we'll just have to wait and see. But of course, this has to be on this list because it's freaking Gladiator, man. At number 5, we have Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. This is a film that I've been talking about all year, and I feel like nobody else has been talking about it. It is a Lord of the Rings anime, a Lord of the Rings animated movie that seems like it could finally bring back this franchise to the big screen, and something that's not going to be controversial for fans, and something that can be big and epic as the Lord of the Rings films were, without having to spend $1 trillion, because yet again, it is an animation, and this just sounds and looks amazing. I don't really know anything about this movie when it comes to the lore or anything like that, but I have seen images from the actual animation. It looks beautiful. It looks stunning. I've heard people say that the story here could be epic. It is based on some lore from the Tolkien universe, some real lore unlike like the TV show. And anything Lord of the Rings I kind of eat up. I think Lord of the Rings is an awesome world, an awesome universe that has almost nothing but bangers. Yet again, the Amazon TV show, not a banger. But this is so high in this list because I think this is going to be a slam dunk. I just don't see how this one could really go wrong. And I hope that I'm not wrong on that. At number 4, we have Anora. This is another film that I gotta make something clear here. I have never seen a single Sean Baker film. I know. Okay, stop. You could throw tomatoes now. You could throw the tomatoes. I know, Sean Baker's a huge director people have been raving about for years and years and years. I have not seen a single movie of his. I plan to watch all of them before I see Anora. So, yeah, calm down. But I cannot ignore the praise and the love that Anora got at... Of course, Anora won the Cannes Film Festival. They won the Palme d'Or. And if you know me, you know last year my number 1 film of the year was Anatomy of a Fall. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. That also won the Palme at Cannes, and it's a film that I didn't really have on my radar this time last year. I'm taking that award, the Palme d'Or, much more seriously this year, and I'm taking the Cannes Festival much more seriously. The reaction coming out of that festival from this film is remarkable. They're saying it is the best picture favorite at this point. Anora stars Mikey Madsen, an actress who's kind of up and coming. She hasn't really gotten the big starring role yet until right now. She is apparently incredible in this film, and she plays a sex worker, and that's really all I know about it. I know Sean Baker's movies mostly revolve around sex and different things around that, with porn stars and prostitutes, and that's kind of his genre, and this film seems to be leaning into that as well, and apparently it is just magnificent with Oscar-worthy performances and just great direction, and it's obviously a film that's going to be one of the more talked about things of the year, so it's going to be in the top 4 of this list, and a movie that I am looking forward to and looking forward to reviewing for all of you when it comes out. Next up, we have Sing Sing. It's one of like 3 or 4 movies I legitimately think has a shot of ending up as my number 1 film of the year. It's going to be really hard to top Dune Part 2. Like, really, really hard. There are like 2 or 3 movies, this film and the 2 ahead of it, that maybe have a slight chance. Sing Sing looks magnificent. The trailer for this movie makes me cry almost every damn time I watch it. It's a film that people are raving about that have seen it. They've been calling it the best picture favorite all freaking year. This film has a stunning cast that apparently has multiple Oscar-worthy performances, but the main star here, of course, is going to be Colman Domingo, who is just so fantastic. He is one of my favorite people on this planet, and this seems to be the movie he has been waiting for. The movie that is going to put him as one of the top actors working in Hollywood, which he is. It looks like a beautiful movie about a bunch of prisoners who start an acting club in prison, and I don't know much about the actual story details from that point on, but the visual style of this movie looks absolutely stunning. The story here seems so emotional and so relevant. This seems like something that is just going to be my type of thing, and I cannot wait to see it in like a month, I think. At number 2, we have Nosferatu. This was originally like number 4 or number 5. Then I saw the trailer for it, and I thought about putting it number 1. My God! Robert Eggers is like one of my top 5 directors in Hollywood working right now, but she's just one of the best. Of course, you have The Witch, one of the best debut films ever, such a unique, simple, low-budget horror film. The Lighthouse, a brilliantly amazing movie. You have The Northman, which is one of my favorite movies from 2022. I know a lot of people didn't like it as much as his first 2 films. I think it is epic. Robert Eggers is known to make these movies that are just grounded in their time period. He is very honest and very true to the time periods he sets his movie in. He wants to make them as realistic and gritty as possible, and he does that by inventing new ways to shoot films. He's so fascinating to watch as a filmmaker. I recommend you go watch like different interviews he's done and just listen to him talk, because he's so good. Nosferatu is a remake of the original old movie Nosferatu. It's one of the most classic horror movies of all time. This version of it is simply the same kind of thing. It's about this town that's being haunted by this vampire, it seems, and it's got a great cast with people like Nicholas Hoult, Willem Dafoe. The film looks like it's going to be both terrifying, haunting, but also just kind of beautiful and stunning in its nature, both with its performances and its visual style. This film looks like it's going to be an easy cinematography nomination at the Oscars. It just looks absolutely stunning. Is this film going to be as weird as something like The Lighthouse and The Witch, which might make it less presentable to general audiences, versus something like The Northman, which I believe was kind of a little bit more presentable? I don't know. Is this one going to be more generic when it comes to how it tells its story and how it delivers its scares, or is it going to be Robert Eggers' madness? Yet again, I don't know, but this is a film that to me looks like it's going to be one of the best things we get this year. By far, it just is incredible. Robert Eggers is a director who continues to establish himself as one of the greats working today, and this film I think is going to be no different. Nosferatu, I'm excited to see it. I hope it premieres at the New York Film Festival so I can see it there a little bit early. Get a review out to all of you. And at number 1 should be no surprise, is Joker Filet Adieu. Listen, I'm the biggest Joker fan on planet Earth. He's one of my favorite characters ever. Joker 2019 is a movie that I loved way more than everybody else. It was one of my favorite movies of that year. It's one of my favorite comic book movies ever. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's the best actor in Hollywood right now. I think casting Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn and doing a love story is maybe the most obvious and genius thing that they could have possibly done. I feel like a sequel to that movie. I know a lot of people said it wasn't necessary, but I feel like it was, because seeing the continuation of this character and leading up to how he fully he becomes the Joker that stands off against some unique version of Batman is so fascinating. It's such an interesting study. This trailer seems like it's leading into like all those ideas of sort of incorporating old visuals from Hollywood. The first movie got a lot of shit for saying that it was riffing too much on Scorsese movies. Now, instead of saying, you know what, we never did that, our movie's super original, Todd Phillips said, you know what, we did kind of spiff a little bit on Scorsese films. And with this film, we're spoofing on a bunch of old Hollywood musicals. We're gonna steal visuals and shit from those, and y'all are gonna cry about it, but it's gonna be so beautiful and so epic. The cinematography here is crazy. The budget is higher, so you could see there is definitely more use of the visuals when it comes to, you see like big set piece scenes with explosions and like a prison break. There's gonna be a lot of music in this movie. It was once deemed as a musical. I think they've toned back on that marketing at this point. I don't think it's gonna be a full-on musical, but there will be some singing. It looks to be a big Oscar movie for performances. Of course, can Joaquin win 2 Oscars for playing the same character? That will be a very interesting conversation we have this year. Can Lady Gaga get her first Oscar? This movie seems designed to win Lady Gaga an Oscar. We'll have to see. I'm gonna love this movie even if it's terrible. I'm just saying that now. This will be one of my favorite movies of the year, even if it ends up being bad, because I love Joker that much. I cannot wait for this film. I am so excited for it. I was more excited for it than Dune at the beginning of the year. I am still more excited for it right now over anything else that's coming out, and that won't change till the day that I see it. Joker Filet Ado, easily my most anticipated movie of the year. Halfway point, beginning of the year, doesn't matter. It's been number 1 and will stay number 1. That's the video, guys. Let me know what you guys are excited to see down below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more. I post every single day on this channel. Videos just like this, so please stick around. I'll see you guys in the next one.